Hey guys, welcome to Ticks and Mentorship, where we try to turn our hindsight into your foresight. Now, hello, hi. I think in the past I've probably spoken about the reason why I call myself Mr. Tixon and what Tixon means, all those kind of things. But today I want to be talking about something even a bit more important than that. Because it's not really necessarily important to you, but this one will probably be more important to yourself and to understand why. And having a mentor, to me, to some extent, is probably the most important relationship that you could have in your life. Now, considering that we in a video I did last year about are you a leader or are you a person in a leadership position, not everybody that's in a position, whether that's a position below you, above you, had more experience than you in a certain sense, it's not necessarily everybody that is essentially a leader. I think one of the most important relationships, even like your parents, not all your parents will be a mentor to you, or somebody, everybody around you is going to be impactful. As they say, it takes a village to raise a kid, as opposed to the alternative. It's not, for all the parents that's like, oh my days, I'm going to be there for my kid and I want my, it doesn't matter how much they micromanage or don't micromanage, they're for your friends, your community, your coaches, your teachers, your bus driver, boss man down the street, madam where they sell akara, all of the people, they all have an impact, in terms of your life and your prospects. But today we're going to be talking specifically about a mentor. Now, having a mentor is one of those relationships, it's like when you look at if you watch anime, I watch anime. For those who discuss anime and get ill, you don't know what you're missing out. But you see that one of the most important relationships is like between the sensei and the pupils. Like, they could almost die for their teacher, or if, for a lot of people who they can root back to one important teacher who were there for a specific time in their life for something they needed to do or needed to accomplish to help you elevate. Now in this life they say, like, a smart man learns from his own mistakes. A wise man learns from other people's mistakes. And like I would say, even a wiser man, doesn't is will be informed of those mistakes from early and seeks out people to teach them. So if you imagine that this life is a journey, and so instead of you having, experience can be the best teacher, but you can learn from other ways. Experience doesn't only have to be the only teacher that you have to call on to. And so a mentor is very important because it's essentially having somebody who has an idea or has gone through certain things, or has experience, or has the awareness of the space you're trying to go to, or the challenges that you're trying to get into. This mentor doesn't necessarily have to be somebody that was very much successful in the space you're trying to be, but somebody who has an acumen to help point you in the right direction in order to aid you within your success. And having a mentor is typically a very intimate relationship in which that somebody's actually investing their time and energy for your personal success. And there's a reciprocal thing in terms of what a mentor will get from a mentee, in terms of, because mentees indirectly will also mentor a mentor, if they even, wow, look at me rapping, but like indirectly, educate each other. It's almost like teachers learn from their students as much as students learn from a teacher. But if you have a really good teacher in your life, whether that be a brother, an uncle, a friend, they can end up helping to expand not just your the way you look at life, but end up helping you to accelerate, getting to where you want to be. If you want to start a business, instead of you trying to go through all the trials and errors of marketing errors, how did I do accounting, do you have one brother that is out there who can help you, like, just skip all those things and help guide you in a direction? As they're growing, they're helping you grow. So if you imagine, I grew up in Tottenham. Imagine I was in Wood Green, I'm trying to get to Tottenham Hill. Instead of me like riding the bike and going around here, instead of me just like walking about and asking the man them on the road, somebody that just already knows, like, look fam, just get on the Piccadilly line, go over there, I go to Finsbury Park, change, go there. But that might be long. He'll be like, no, maybe it's better for you to go to carry the 123 bus and go. This doesn't mean anything to people who don't understand North London, but my point being that you can make your journey shorter and, less stressful and even a bit more fruitful by finding somebody out there who can help you, take one step further than you've already taken. Because a lot of times when we're in crossroads in our life or we want to achieve something, a lot of time we don't really know where to start. And even going into when I started working, I think one of the frustrations personally that I had was like, when I'm always trying to learn and I'm always trying to do better, but then it's like you don't know what you don't know. So it's like if you don't know what you don't know, then you don't know what you should be knowing, or you don't know what you should be learning. So you're just out there wanting to learn, but don't know what you should be learning and what is wasteful learning and what's not wasteful learning. And having somebody to help you kind of directs you along the path to kind of get where you want to go. So obviously, personally in my life, I've mentored people directly and a lot of people indirectly, and in order to just help them get to where they want to get quickly, and sometimes necessarily not quickly, but in a more holistic way, that when they get there they understand it. Because sometimes as a mentor, yes, I can show you the way, but then see that you're going to go and sink, and then I'll just let you drown small, then give you like a life jacket. But it's one of those ones where like it's a relationship that's supposed to help be fruitful for you personally, as well as the mentor in general. And within Teach and Mentorship scheme, you can simultaneously be a mentor and a mentee, which is something that we are looking to establish here, of having people who are both giving back to people that are not necessarily below them, because within here you can actually be a mentor to somebody that is older than you or younger than you, provided that the person that in question that wants to be mentored is humble enough to be there, and somebody that is, you're never too old to learn and you're never too young to teach. So some people, in terms of a mentor relationship, you could be 20, but then you'd have the mental age of somebody who's 35. You may be in the best position to mentor somebody who's 27 going through a crisis, because the experience that you've had in your life has put you in the best position to deal with that situation. So it's not necessarily, being a mentor, everyone thinks, oh yeah, okay, teacher, brother, sister. It's never not necessarily that. That's not how you provide value to people. It's about, how can you provide good value to this person to get forward. So within Teach and Mentorship scheme, we aim to provide mentorship both directly and indirectly, in the sense that we do that both on a one-to-one basis, and we also do that both in terms of a group function basis, where you collectively mentor people by group sessions, one-to-ones, men's group, women's groups, mentors workshops, and as such. And so for me, I do believe that this is one of the most important, if not the most important, relationship that you could have, barring the ones that you have with your spouse, kids, and family. I feel like because this can really, within my culture, Igbo, there's something we used to call I can't even speak Igbo now. It's actually terrible. Imwaka. There we go. But basically, it's like almost like an apprenticeship situation, of which where you take somebody, a young boy or young girl, but typically a young boy, and then help elevate them, teach them a trade, help elevate them, and then before you let them go, you would invest into, you'd give them the money that you typically anyway, not in all cases, I'm not gonna lie to you, but you give them the money to set up their own business and then let them go along their way. And the pride that you get from helping somebody elevate themselves and then go up is never forgotten. And so for us here, for me personally, my biggest thing is that I want everyone around me to achieve the goals that they wanted to achieve in their life, provide, or at least gain some perspective of how to achieve it, create a plan, and, be fulfilled within their life based on the goals and expectations they've set on themselves, as opposed to be having regrets. I live my life without regrets. So, and I also live my life as if it's my last day. So I don't really have any interest of saying, had I known, or I wish, or my days did the if you at any point in time you can make a mistake, learn from it, aim not to make it again, forgive yourself, but don't forget, because the wisdom comes from understanding what you've done and understanding what people have done around you for you after you've forgiven that situation. So if you have the opportunity to become a mentor, everybody looks at me and they're like, oh, I can't be a mentor, I have nothing to give. I've rarely ever seen anybody that doesn't have anything to offer. I've rarely, people say, I don't have any talents, I'm not special. I've rarely met anybody who doesn't have anything to offer, doesn't have anything interesting about them. Everybody that's told me that they have nothing interesting about them, I engage them at least maximum a 5-minute conversation, and then I'm like, okay, you've done this, you had an interest in life. And so, there's people within your situation, there's people who have gone through your situation. There's no experience you've actually got in this life that it's rarely there's any experience that you've gone that you're solely the only person in this world that is going to go through it, or solely the only person in this world that will understand it, which is sometimes why we refuse to seek counsel, because we in our own bubble, we're the superhero in our own movie, always assume that nobody will understand what we're going through. But you don't necessarily have to go through something somebody went through to understand what it is. I don't need to get burnt to life to understand that. That wouldn't really be nice. But in that same vein, whether that be through Teach and Mentorship scheme or any other service, try to be able to give back, but in a tangible way. And by being a mentor to somebody is definitely, you don't have to call it a mentorship. A lot of you guys are mentoring people without realizing you're mentoring them. And so if you want to become a mentor or a mentee, or both ideally, come and join Ticks and Mentorship Scheme as we try to turn our hindsight into everybody's collective foresight in order to make sure that everyone around us can have a more and better fruitful life, and making sure that those that come after us, those who are even ahead of us, have a better life than the ones we have as we continue. I mean, I'm not gonna lie, I'm continuing to try and make my life good, but I'm trying to make sure that anybody that comes after me has 100% a better life than I'm having, will have, so that we make sure that things get better and we see the world better than as we saw it. So have a blessed day. Hopefully this provided some clarity. I probably spoke too much, so I'll probably do this video another time and not again, but it's one of them ones. So hit the like button, subscribe provided you're inclined to, but if not, have a blessed day, and hopefully try and do something nice to somebody at some way, some place today. Try to do, one act of random kindness can go a long way. So have a blessed day, guys, and my name has been Ugo. Bye.
Woke up in the morning, had a dream of getting paid. I done made a couple moves, now I got money on the way. Yo, I did it for the hustle, did it off the chains. I didn't doubt it for a second, homie. Now they know my name, so go get your cash up.